Hello, it's Ryan Liberty. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, what is histrionic personality disorder, also known as HPD? Let me know! I need to know now! Alright, here we are. We're going to discuss histrionic personality disorder. Before I get to that, though, and how it feels, we just got to go over a quick few things here. First, I need to say that this is not diagnostic criteria. This is just a quick little description to give you an idea of what histrionic personality disorder may look like. It's not meant to diagnose anybody, and only a trained professional should be doing that for you anyway. It is a label, histrionic personality disorder, and if for some reason that label bothers you, if it doesn't help in your healing or the healing of someone that you love, you don't have to use this label. It's just to point you towards something that may be going on in your life. It is a personality disorder, but personality disorders can change. And there's always research being done, and we're learning more as the years goes by from researchers, so don't feel like just because it's a personality disorder, it's something that's stuck and it's never going to change. That's not true. And there is a stigma, unfortunately, around people who have personality disorders that they're bad people or they're evil people. They're just people who have a personality disorder. It's not necessarily true. So I would love if we would stop using those words to describe people with personality disorders. But I do have to say that there are people who come to these types of videos about personality disorders because they're in an abusive situation and they're trying to understand their partner. If you are that person, don't worry about whether or not they have a personality disorder. Worry about getting yourself into a safe distance away from that person, getting the resources and the help that you need from therapists, from friends, from shelters, whatever it is that you need to help yourself to get some distance away from that abusive relationship. Focus on that. Don't focus on whether or not they have a personality disorder because it's really not important. And I must say also that people with personality disorders may not necessarily be abusive. So just want to keep those two separate. If you're in an abusive situation, take care of that. Don't worry about the personality disorder. All of that said, let's get into what histrionic personality disorder is. So it's something that begins in early adulthood, and you may see any of these kinds of things going on when we talk about histrionic personality disorder. So you have that the core thing is that they're uncomfortable when they're not the center of attention. So there's always an attempt to get attention to them in various ways, and we'll discuss those a little bit later. But when they don't have attention, they feel very uncomfortable, they feel uneasy, it doesn't feel good. They have inappropriate, provocative, or sexualized behavior to get attention. They may have rapidly shifting and shallow emotions because it's always about creating this bigger than life thing to make themselves get attention. They may use their physical appearance to draw attention to themselves. So they may do things like wear bright, flashy clothing and jewelry. They may do things like dress showing cleavage, or if they're like a bodybuilder, showing off their arm, or have their hair all done, all kinds of different things to get your attention. They may have impressionistic speech that lacks detail, so they'll use words like magnificent, and it was the most wonderful, beautiful thing that I'd ever seen in my entire life, just to kind of make a big spectacle around the way that they're speaking with you. They are easily influenced by others and circumstances, so they go along with what people have to say. If somebody is choosing where to go for lunch, oh yes, I love that, that's a great place, they'll go off and go along with what other people do. And they very often overestimate the intimacy that they have in relationships. So somebody that they see like their mechanic maybe 2 or 3 times a year, maybe their best friend, they love them, and this guy's my best, the best, I love him, you know? So there is treatment for histrionic personality disorder involving psychotherapy or medication. Really just go in to see a therapist, they'll come up with a plan for you. All of that said, though, what does it feel like to have histrionic personality disorder? Now, I couldn't find anything that indicated that you would feel anything in your body to indicate it. But as far as your brain and what you're thinking, your thoughts are always going to focus on attention. So you may think things like, how do I look right now? You may spend time in front of the mirror thinking that. You may think about those people that we talked about, like the mechanic, or maybe like a cashier at a store. Like, I love this guy so much. He's the best. He's wonderful. or even just, acquaintances. You may think that you have this deep, intimate connection with them, and in reality, if you ask the other person, they would say, yeah, I know him, but we're not that close. And again, so thoughts about like, she's my best friend, I love him, we got this great connection, those are the thoughts that may go through your head. Emotionally, you may find that when you're alone, you feel very bored or uncomfortable, but when you have, or underappreciated because you're not getting attention. But when you, and when you're trying to get that attention, you may feel very impatient and frustrated that people aren't giving you attention. But when you are getting the attention, you probably feel very excited and you feel alive. Now, behaviorally is where you're going to see a lot of what's going on with histrionic personality disorder. And there's a lot of different things going on here. So you'll see that you may flirt or charm to get new acquaintances. You may do things like make up stories, make a scene. And it should be noted here, it's not always about seduction and getting positive attention. You may do things like make temper tantrums and scream and shout and make a big scene, get angry about things. It's not always about looking good. It's just about getting attention, period. You may over-embellish when you tell stories. You may give gifts to people. You may use sexuality to seduce and manipulate people. You may dress provocatively, follow the fads. You may spend extra time getting ready to make sure everything looks good. You may fish for compliments. You may be upset when somebody criticizes you in any way. You may have strong opinions, this is my political position, and this is exactly the way that this is what I believe. But when it comes to backing that up, there's very little underneath that. You may be overly trusting of authority figures who will solve all of your problems. You may feel that everybody is your dear friend, everybody loves you and knows you well, and you share your most intimate details with everybody. You may have difficulty, though, when it comes to actually having emotional intimacy because you have these very shallow relationships and you put up this front that people are trying to break through to relate to you. You may abandon long-term relationships for the thrill of having a new relationship and having a new person giving you a lot of attention. And you may additionally threaten suicide to get attention from that as well. So histrionic personality disorder, it really centers around being the center of attention, and I'm not so familiar with it myself, so I would love if you are somebody who has histrionic personality disorder or you know somebody with it, you would discuss it down below, because I'd love to hear from you, but I appreciate you taking the time to learn about it today with me. Hey, it's Ryan Liberty. If you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, share with a friend, and leave any questions or comments down below, because that would really help me out. If you're somebody who's gone through a traumatic event and you're feeling cut off from the people around you, I have a free course that will help with that, so please click to get it. And if you'd like to see the rest of my videos, please click subscribe. As always, I want to remind you that your life matters. Nobody can question your worth. However it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're going through, it's okay, and you are loved. Thanks again for watching.